Imagine being thrown out of the only place you ever called home, with nothing but the clothes on your back and the weight of betrayal in your heart. That was Anna's reality, until a mysterious billionaire stepped into her world. But this isn't just a story of rescue, it's a storm of secrets, shocking betrayals, and a love so powerful it could break them both. How did Anna rise from a forgotten maid to something far greater? The truth will leave you speechless. Sit back and grab some popcorn. Let's find out what happened in the amazing story. Not too long ago, in the heart of a quiet Nigerian town with rustling palm trees and smoky sunrises, there lived a girl named Anna. Anna wasn't born into riches, but she was born into love. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Onoha, were school teachers, humble, soft-spoken, and deeply kind. Their small bungalow always smelled like fried plantains and books. Anna had a bright laugh, a head full of dreams, and two parents who believed she could change the world. She didn't know that life could change in a heartbeat. One rainy afternoon, while Anna was still in class preparing for her junior year AEC, a phone call shattered everything. Her parents had been in an accident. They never made it home. The day of the funeral, Anna stood in black clothes 2 sizes too big, holding her mother's favorite scarf. Her hands trembled as distant relatives muttered things like, "So young," and "such a tragedy." But the loudest voice among them all belonged to Uncle Jonah, her father's younger brother. His eyes were sharp like a hawk's, always calculating. He moved into the house that same week. He said it was to protect the property, but it wasn't long before his true intentions were clear. "You're just a girl," he told her one night, smoking a stick of cheap cigarette near the balcony. "What do you need a house for?" Anna didn't have the strength to argue. But when he started locking the kitchen and denying her food, she tried to fight. So he kicked her out. With nothing but a small bag and her mother's scarf, Anna wandered the town. It's strange how invisible a person can become when they have nothing. People passed her by. Some stared, some frowned, but most just ignored her. At night, she slept under a broken-down kiosk. During the day, she begged, her voice shaking, "Oh, please, just small food." Weeks passed. She grew thinner. Her lips cracked. But her eyes, though tired, still burned with a quiet dignity. She refused to steal. She refused to curse. And then came the rain. It was the kind of rain that feels like punishment from heaven. Violent, cold, endless. Anna sat by the roadside, curled under an old rice sack, when a sleek black SUV slowed down beside her. The window rolled down. Inside sat a man in a crisp navy blue shirt. His face was handsome but tired, like someone who had seen too much in life. His name was Kofi Badu. He stared at her for a moment. Then, without a word, he stretched out a 1,000 naira note. Anna's fingers trembled as she took it. "Thank you, sir," she whispered. Kofi said nothing, just nodded and drove off into the mist. The next morning, Anna returned to the same spot. Something told her the man would come back. He did. This time he parked. He stepped out holding a black umbrella and crouched beside her. "You were here yesterday." Anna looked up, tears threatening. I don't have anywhere else to go." Kofi listened as she told him everything, her parents, the house, the uncle, the hunger. He was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, "Come with me." Kofi's house was large, elegant, and full of silence. There was only one other soul there besides the staff, a shy little girl named Zara, his daughter. Her mother had died 2 years earlier. Since then, she'd barely smiled. Anna was given a small room and a new set of clothes. Kofi offered her a simple deal: cook, help clean, and help with Zara, and in return he'd provide shelter, food, and clothes. Anna accepted, and slowly the house began to change. Anna was a natural with children. Zara took to her immediately, especially after Anna made jollof rice shaped like hearts and told her a story about a talking lizard who wanted to learn ballet. Kofi started coming home earlier just to hear them laugh. "Did you draw this?" he asked one evening, holding up a picture Zara made. It showed the three of them holding hands. Zara nodded. "That's me, that's Anna, that's you, Daddy." Kofi smiled softly. He hadn't smiled like that in a long time. One weekend, Mama Badu, Kofi's mother, came to visit. She was a strong Ghanaian woman with sharp eyes and an even sharper tongue. At first, she was cold to Anna, suspicious of her presence. But as she watched Anna help Zara with her homework, sing her to sleep, and fix the broken door handle in the kitchen, her heart softened. In the evening, over steaming cups of hibiscus tea, Mama Badu leaned close to her son. "She's not just a girl from the street," she said. "She's a blessing in disguise." Kofi nodded slowly, eyes following Anna as she helped Zara with her slippers. That night, he stayed awake longer than usual. Kofi started noticing everything: how Anna laughed, how she frowned while concentrating, how she hummed while cooking. She was graceful but strong, gentle but firm. But more than anything, she made the house feel like a home again. One day, as they sat watching Zara build a puzzle, Kofi asked, "Do you ever think about going back to school?" Anna blinked. "Sometimes, but I don't think it's for me anymore." "Why not?" She smiled sadly. "The world changed too much." He looked at her then, not like an employer, but like a man seeing someone he hadn't really seen before. One night it rained again. Anna went outside to collect the drying laundry. The wind howled, lightning cracked. Kofi followed her with an umbrella. "You'll get sick," he said, pulling the basket from her. "I'm okay," she replied, but her voice shook. He paused. Then softly he wrapped the umbrella around both of them. They stood there, too close, too silent. The rain whispered secrets between them. Then came a flash of thunder, and Anna stepped back. "I should go inside," she said. He nodded, but something had changed. After that rainy night, something unspoken lingered in the air between Anna and Kofi. They didn't talk about it, but it showed in the small glances that lasted a little too long, in the soft silences during breakfast, in the way Kofi now waited for her in the living room just to say goodnight. Anna felt it too, though she dared not name it. She was a house help. He was a wealthy man. Their worlds had no business touching. Still, she caught herself smiling when he laughed. She stayed up a bit longer when she heard him working late.
Happy Hi Bestie. If you enjoyed this story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment where you are watching from. Enjoy!
She brushed Zara's hair like she was her own, but she built walls in her heart, tall ones. She had already lost everything once. She couldn't survive another heartbreak. One Saturday evening, Kofi hosted a business dinner at the house. It was a grand affair. Rich fabrics, wine glasses clinking, and influential guests laughing in low tones. Anna stayed in the kitchen, overseeing the meals, making sure everything ran perfectly. But she didn't expect Kofi to call her out. "This is Anna," he said to his guests. "She's the reason this food tastes better than any restaurant in town." The guests clapped politely. Some raised eyebrows. One woman, tall and sharply dressed, gave Anna a cold once-over. Her name was Amara, a businesswoman Kofi's mother had once hoped he would marry. Later that night, as Anna cleared the dishes, Amara followed her into the kitchen. "You're just a charity case," she whispered sharply. "Don't get comfortable." Anna's hands froze. She didn't respond. But that night when she got to her room, she cried for the first time in weeks. The next morning, Kofi noticed Anna's swollen eyes. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I'm fine," she lied. "You're not," he said quietly. "Did someone say something to you?" She looked at him, torn between pride and pain. "Why did you introduce me like that? You embarrassed me in front of them." Kofi blinked. "I was proud of you." "But they weren't," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "To them, I'm just the girl you picked from the street." "And to me?" he asked, stepping closer. "You're so much more." Anna looked away. Her heart pounded. "Don't say things you don't mean, sir." He touched her shoulder gently. "I always mean what I say." A week later, Anna received a letter, a brown torn envelope handed to her by one of the gate staff. It was from a lawyer. Her parents had left behind a hidden savings account in her name. It wasn't a fortune, but it was enough to change her situation, enough to leave. Anna stared at the letter for a long time. For the first time in months, she had options. She didn't tell Kofi, Not yet. One night, Mama Badu returned, bringing with her an old photo album. She handed it to Kofi. You've mourned long enough, she said. Your daughter needs a mother. You need a companion. Kofi opened the album slowly. Pictures of him and his late wife, their wedding day, Zara's first steps. I'm not ready to remarry, Mama. She took his hand. Maybe you are. You're just scared to love again. He closed the album. And later that night, as Anna laughed with Zara under the hallway lights, he knew what his heart wanted. He just didn't know if he deserved it. It happened unexpectedly. Kofi was walking Anna to the store one evening. A simple walk, no grand intentions. They talked about little things, about childhood, about mango trees, about songs their mothers used to sing, and then he said it. I think I'm in love with you. Anna stopped walking. Her breath caught. I I can't do this, she whispered. Why? Because I'm scared, she said, her voice cracking. Because everything I love gets taken away from me. Kofi gently took her hand. Then let me be the one who stays. Just as Anna began to open her heart, her phone rang. It was the lawyer again. There was more. Her uncle, Uncle Jonah, was trying to claim the savings account. He had filed a petition saying Anna was mentally unfit to handle money and was back on the streets. If the court accepted it, the account would be frozen. Anna stared at the ceiling that night, her heart spiraling. She had to leave, not because she wanted to, but because she had to fight for what was hers. She didn't wake Kofi. She packed her bag quietly, left a note for Zara on the dresser. Thank you for showing me joy again. Be good to your daddy. And then she stood at the gates in the rain just like the first time. She looked up at the house one last time. I love you, she whispered to the darkness. Then she walked away. Kofi found the note the next morning. He ran outside barefoot, calling her name. Anna! Anna! But she was already gone. Zara cried. Mama Badu stood by the window, lips pressed tight. Kofi looked at the falling rain and knew. This time, he had lost more than a companion. He had lost the woman who healed his heart. 2 weeks later, in a dusty courtroom in another town, Anna stood before the judge, shaking but determined. She was fighting for her name, for her parents, for her future. And just before the hearing ended, a tall man in a black suit walked in. Anna turned around. Her heart stopped. It was Kofi. But beside him was Amara, holding his arm. The courtroom felt like it stopped breathing. Anna's eyes locked on Kofi's, but her mind couldn't make sense of what she was seeing. Why was he here? Why was she, Amara, holding his arm? Anna's heartbeat roared in her ears. Her lips parted to speak, but nothing came out. The judge didn't pause. Miss Anna, is there anything else you wish to say before we decide? Anna forced her attention back. She swallowed the lump in her throat. Yes, Your Honor, I am not mad. I am not broken. I am not weak. I am just someone who lost everything but never gave up. Whispers spread through the courtroom. Her lawyer smiled softly. Even the judge seemed moved, but Anna could feel his eyes, Kofi's eyes, burning into her. When the hearing adjourned, she walked past him, chin high. She refused to cry. Outside the courthouse, the rain had stopped, but the clouds still hovered. Anna turned the corner to find Kofi waiting for her. Anna, she raised her hand. Don't. He stepped closer. It's not what you think. She scoffed bitterly. Isn't it always? Amara followed me here. I didn't invite her. I came alone. For you. Anna looked down, trying to keep her tears from falling. You could have stopped her from holding your arm, she whispered. I froze, he admitted. I was scared. I didn't know what I'd see when I walked in. Anna's voice cracked. You saw a girl who still loves you, that's what. Silence. I'll fight my battle, Kofi, she said. But when I win, don't come back unless you're sure. That night, Anna stayed in a small inn near the courthouse. The room was dim with just one flickering light bulb and a curtain that barely covered the window. She sat by the edge of the bed, staring at her parents' old photo. Did I do the right thing, Mama? She asked aloud. Her tears fell soft and soundless. Meanwhile, across town, Kofi sat in his car for hours, parked on a quiet street. He replayed her words over and over. Don't come back unless you're sure. And for the first time in years, he wasn't sure of anything. Back in town, Amara was already spinning a tale. At a lunch meeting with Mama Badu, she sipped her tea gracefully and said, Coffee's chasing a fantasy. That girl is using his kindness. Mama Badu frowned. Anna is not like that. She's charming, yes, but don't mistake charm for purity. A girl with no family, no background, there's always a story. Mama Badu didn't respond, but Amara knew the seed was planted, and all she had to do was water it with doubt. A week later, Anna stood once again in court. This time she was stronger. She read a letter her mother had written years ago, a letter tucked away in an old recipe book the lawyer had found. In it, her mother described Anna as fiercely kind and destined to shine no matter the storm. The courtroom was silent as Anna's voice broke on the last line. The judge looked over the documents, leaned back, and said, Miss Anna, this account and your name rightfully belong to you. Victory. But it felt hollow because she couldn't share it with the man who had once given her shelter in the storm. That evening, Anna walked through the market with her withdrawal receipt in her hand. People were celebrating her win, shaking her hand, clapping her back, but she didn't feel like smiling. She bought bread and stew ingredients from a vendor, planning to cook something simple at the inn. But when she got back, there was a note on her door. Come to the lake. Okay? Her hands trembled as she held the paper. The lake shimmered under the fading sun. Kofi stood at the pier, his suit jacket off, sleeves rolled, eyes dark with emotion. When Anna arrived, she kept her distance. You came, he said. I almost didn't. I wouldn't have blamed you. She crossed her arms. Then why am I here? Kofi stepped forward. Because I can't stop thinking about you. And Amara? He shook his head. She's in love with my life, not me. Anna exhaled shakily. I was scared, Anna. After losing my wife, I never wanted to feel that kind of pain again. But then you walked into my world and you turned it right side up. She blinked back tears. I wasn't trying to. I know. That's why it's real. They stood there, hearts exposed. But just as Anna was about to respond, a voice echoed from behind them. Well, this is touching. It was Uncle Jonah, flanked by two police officers. You stole from me, girl. You'll pay. The officers grabbed Anna roughly. Kofi shouted, Betrayal, what's the meaning of this? She forged documents, Uncle Jonah said, waving a paper. She hacked into my brother's will. That's a lie, Anna yelled. Kofi stepped in front of her. You're not taking her anywhere. She's under arrest. The officer cuffed Anna. Tears spilled from her eyes. Kofi? I won't let this happen, he swore. I'll fix this. But Anna was already being dragged away. As the car door slammed, Kofi's fists clenched. This wasn't just injustice. It was war.
Hi bestie, kunyafuo hivi kumeshawa uruang. If you enjoyed the story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe for part 2. Comment where you are watching from and I will reply with my favorite emoji. Thank you.